we're going to take a look at using your degree audit to develop an enrollment strategy. The degree audit's an incredibly useful tool, and we're going to be able to find out just about everything we need to know from it directly. The only thing that won't be really intuitive from your degree audit is the order that we recommend prioritizing your course lists in. That order, you can see over here, is going to be our major required block. On our degree audit, we can see that it's below foreign language. Then we're going to move to major and support courses. That's where things get a little bit strange, because the block under major required is general education core. You have to scroll all the way past that to get to our major block. Take a moment to notice. Your major block will always be named after your major. It won't say major block. If you have support courses required, they'll be listed directly above or directly below your exploratory block, depending on which college you belong to. Underneath your major always will be your minor or minors, and then we would move back up to our general education core. So in our list of course options, general education core is always the lowest priority. The reason for that is because they tend to be free of prerequisites and sequencing, and they tend to be offered in every single semester. So let's get started. The very first block that I need to examine is my major required courses. But before I get to that, I need to be sure that I have access to all the information I need. So I need to know what my pending credits are. Pending credits, if you're participating in the Transfer Transition program, is a list that you would have already created. It's the courses that you've been taking this semester or maybe in previous semesters at other colleges. We can see that one of the courses I've taken is Math 1329, which just so happens to be the course that's listed in my major required courses. So, since that's done, I'm going to check it off and move down to my next priority area, major and support courses. Underneath that, the very first course is Accounting 2361. I can see over here, I do not have credit for that yet, so I'm going to get to start making out my list. To figure out if I can register for Accounting 2361, I'm going to click on the actual course number. That will open up a second screen, which is going to give me some valuable information. What I'm concerned with are the prerequisites. We can see that the prerequisites for this class are Math 13, 15, or 19, or 29. And we know that I've got credit for Math 13, 29. So the first course on my Fall 21 course options will be Accounting 2361. Then I'll close this tab down, and I'll go back, and I'm going to do the next course. Once again, I'm going to check my prerequisites. And immediately, I'm going to come to a class that I don't have yet because I'm planning to take that in fall. This is called a course sequence. So I'm going to mark that as an option for Spring 22. And those course sequences are important to us because they're going to be prioritized highest in our final list. Then I'll close that block down, and I'll move on to CIS. And here I can see there is no prerequisite section, which means that I'm probably okay to sign up for that. Sometimes your degree audit won't tell you prerequisites when there are in fact prerequisites. Your advisor will assist you in identifying those courses and explain what those restrictions or prerequisites are for them. I'm going to take the next few minutes and work my way all the way through every single course in my major block. Then I'm going to move on to the next area, minor, which I don't have one. Then I'll do my general education core block. When we come back in the next few seconds, you'll see a much larger list of course options and probably a few other sequences that I've identified. All right. I'm back. I've worked through every single course on my list, It will take you, the first time you do this, anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes. But this list will be something that you'll be able to use every semester from here on out. This is all you need to do to prepare for your first advising meeting. However, in the next videos, I'm going to give you some insights into things advisors will help you look for to further refine this list and kind of trim it up a little bit so that we're not having to consider quite so many possible course options. See you then.